Hey, I'm just going to do a few quick tips on reframing. Reframing is probably the tool that I use the most in my life to help overcome burnout, stress, and overwhelm. Reframing comes in all different forms. The first one I'm going to talk about is called the hierarchy of criteria. When we're getting overwhelmed by all the things, the to-do list, the events, the plans, all of the stuff we've got, and we sometimes can't figure out where they fit in the whole scheme of things, and we get all out of place as far as the criteria goes. If we can ask ourselves, actually, how important is that thing that's bugging me right now? Quite often you can reprioritize that in a criteria point of view and bump it further down the list. I sat with a client a few days ago, and there was an event happening tomorrow that just had to happen. It has to happen no matter what. I have to do that tomorrow because of all of these other things that are going on. Once we actually dug down into that event and prioritized it from a goals and value standpoint, it turned out that event can actually happen anytime in the next week, and it didn't matter as much as that person thought. So re-ranking stuff in order of priority is really, really important as far as when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed and starting to burn out. There are some stuffs that you can say no to, and this works in our work and personal life. So someone might be feeling overwhelmed with work tasks and missing out on time. You can actually ask that person, say, hey, is there any task at work you can delegate or postpone so that you can go and do what you need to do? Sometimes it could be health and fitness, like we really struggle to get into our fitness. But if you really drive into health and fitness as a value or a goal, it's set yourself as a goal, you'll actually make that a priority. And you can say, hey, I know that health and fitness is really important to me. So how can I just fit in even a 30-minute exercise for today to help prioritize that? And then you don't feel so stressed because you've actually ticked that thing off. So there are heaps of ways that we can use the hierarchy of criteria to rank our tasks. I do it by journaling. I have 3 things that I must achieve today. That is a question I ask myself every day. What are 3 things that I must achieve today? Write those 3 things. Sometimes they're really little. Sometimes you write the first one and it's just an email and you can send it there and then, done. And you feel real good because you've ticked something off. So the hierarchy of criteria, think about how you prioritize your tasks, how you prioritize your projects, your goals. What are your values and how are your values driving that hierarchy of criteria? Something like contribution is a value that some people hold very high. You have someone in your life you know that just contributes everywhere. They're on every committee, every association, they volunteer for everything. They have contribution potentially very high in their values, but how does that actually affect their personal goals and drive their fulfillment at home? The hierarchy of criteria is a really good thing to be aware of and use it to reframe yourself and reframe others to say, hey, what is the big picture here? Actually, in the whole scheme of things, does this really matter right now in this time that you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed? And quite often you can reframe someone to re-rank their criteria and move on. Anyway, that's quick tip number 1 for reframing. I've got a whole heap of reframes coming up, so stand by and I'll give you a new one next week. I hope you're all getting amongst it. We'll catch up with you.